Been to another edition, a long-awaited edition. My apologies. Life has been a little crazy, but we are fired up because tomorrow night, January 19th, is the national championship between the one and only Miami Hurricanes and a member of the LCFP gang himself, Indiana Hoosiers. Howie, how are we feeling about the Natty, bro?
I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm anxious, I'm excited, I'm all of it right now, Laner. As an IU fan, we've not been here before, so don't know how to feel. I I want to be just excited that we're here, but I'm also like I want to win the daggum thing. Like let's go, but we got like we got 24 hours now till we'll be in it right now. Like 24
Yeah.
hours from now when we're recording this, we'll be in it. So I don't know how to feel. I'm getting more and more nervous as the hours get closer here.
It's an exciting feeling, bro. The nerves, they're already setting in 24 hours out. And I get it, bro. You nailed it. Like, you're pumped no matter what. This season is a success. It's record setting. It's incredible. But you're like, we're playing in it, so we might as well win it, right?
Right. And I just think, I mean, when Signetti got here, he was like, it was all about changing the culture. And then part of his thing is like never like being satisfied or never feeling complacent or feeling like we're good enough. Like, and so now that we're going to play for a national championship, it almost like changing the mindset of the fans. And if we all bought into Signetti 100%, like we want to go win this thing. Like we're not satisfied just making it to Miami. Like we want to win the thing. We want to be the first 16-0 team. Like, and then we want to go try to replicate it next year. And like so, I'm trying to keep the culture. I'm trying to ride along the wave with Coach Sig culture and not get too high. And but it's really hard because uh, I'm looking at the ESPN website right now and just see the Miami Indiana National Championship, and I'm just want to pinch myself because
Yo,
never saw it happening.
so good, bro. Sig, in just 2 years, has set a new standard, and he has lived up to everything he said, which is unbelievable. You got to be at the Rose Bowl. We didn't even get to ask you about that. That's going back 2 rounds. Got to win the semifinal game, take down Oregon, not just once this year on the road in Eugene, but also in the semifinals, in the Peach Bowl. You're rocking the hoodie. You're also rocking the Duck Buck hat. I mean, you could go a million ways, Howie, but tell us about your hat and your hoodie, your experience in Pasadena.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start with the best thing here that on my person, and that's this hat. Hat is brought to us by the great people at Duck Buck Co. They have been with us through this whole season, and we have loved partnering with them. And they have been great, so gracious to us, and given us a code to give to you, our listeners. So, as you go to duckbuckco.com, you just go ahead and hit whatever you want, right? So get everything, one of everything in your size. And then maybe like things oversized, so get one in your size, and then get one just next size up. Okay, it's cozy season here, especially in the Midwest. We're like negative wind chills. Like you remember those days
In the
back
thick
at
of it,
Baylor,
Howie.
back at J term, before you
Yep.
guys went to Arizona to play baseball in February. Like we're in it right now. So go ahead and get you a nice oversized sweatshirt from Duck Buck Co. At checkout, use LCFP for 15% off at checkout. Again, we appreciate LCF or we appreciate the LCFP, but we appreciate Duck Buck Co. for partnering with us. And
And you
I
know
mean,
what,
they got
Howie?
sweet stuff.
What a sponsor for this year. You mentioned they've been with us the whole year. Duckbuck, we love these guys. We're coming to the end of an incredible year. Duckbuck's been the official sponsor the whole year. You know where that Duckbuck warehouse is? It's in Indianapolis, just an hour
Come
up
on,
the road, just an hour up the road from Bloomington. And I know a lot of the boys on the Duck Buck crew are buzzing. So Clay, Keaton, shout out to those guys, fellow IU fans with you, Howie. So feels very appropriate that IU's going on this run.
absolutely.
Meanwhile, Duck Buck's been the sponsor. So, but Howie, how was your time in Pasadena? I was bummed not to be there. Not uh, not thrilled about the result on my end, but happy for you.
Sure,
Indiana
sure.
dominated Bama. But how was it, bro? Besides the rain.
Yo, the rain was brutal. It was like I don't know, maybe the second time in like 40 years it's rained there for the Rose Bowl. So just, I mean, like, of course, when we're there, just historic rain there in Southern California. But parade was awesome. The experience is awesome. If you like walking, that's the place for you. We walked from the parade to the stadium, and it was brutal with the rain. Um, but man, the atmosphere was just incredible. Probably being generous, it was probably 80% Hoosier fans in there, and I think that's a little bit generous to Alabama to say there was 20% Alabama
Wow.
fans.
Wow.
Because when the thrashing took place and it kept going and it kept going and it kept going, and more Bama fans left, the stadium didn't look any less full.
Wow.
Um, so that was an incredible experience too, to be there with so many IU fans, and um, yeah, just truly felt like a home game. And you know, as the person I am, though, I get real into the game. So I'm into the game, and there are a couple times I had to like look up and go like, okay, I'm at the Rose Bowl. Like this is sweet. Like I used playing at the Rose Bowl.
Pinch me
Um,
moments.
exactly. And so saw Pat McAfee and his crew down on the field
No way.
doing their thing. Um, just and Reese Davis doing the trophy presentation after the
So
game. Like it
cool.
was just one of those where like I've watched that on TV, countless times, dozens of times, and it's like now it's to be there. It was a really cool experience. It was really great for the Hoosiers to win in that kind of fashion, that dominating fashion. Um, just incredible experience, once in a lifetime trip um, that I hope to make more than just once. But just great scenery out there. That place is gorgeous out there, even with the rain, the sloppiness, whatever. Still so historic. It was a great time out there in Pasadena, California.
So cool, Howie. Stoked for you, bro. And honestly, like, we don't even need your commentary on it because everyone that's listening to this saw Indiana has just dominated all playoffs. Like, play Bama, dominate. Play Oregon for the second time, dominate. On the other side, Miami and Ole Miss, kind of an all-time classic game that they had. Back and forth, lead changes like crazy, and Miami gets the ball at the end and gets to come out with the win. We're heading into this national championship game, and Indiana hasn't even been tested to this point. And those are no knocks on those Alabama or those Oregon football teams. That's just all credit to Indiana for absolutely taking care of business, being locked in, and not even being in ball games in the second half. Like we're putting the starters on the bench for a little bit. We got the backups in. We're rolling that deep. We're ahead that much. And then Miami's coming off of a very tight win. How do you feel about this matchup with Miami, a team that's played a lot tighter games, whereas you're on a wagon right now?
Right. I do think there's something to be said about playing in this type of environment. You're playing for a national championship, and you've already played in a couple of close games. I think that's huge. Actually, all three of them, if you think about it, have been pretty close games. You have to grind one out against Texas A&M. You 10-point win against Ohio State, but that was just a grind out game as well, 24-14, and then like that Ole Miss game is like coming down to the wire and having to make a play at the end. Like those experiences like will help you, right, as you continue to face challenges in this playoff and now in this national championship game that Indiana might not have actually had to face in these blowout wins. Um, so I that does worry me from like Miami side is like, well, if they get down, they're not gonna blink an eye. They've been down before in the playoffs. Like they've been there before where IU really hasn't been. Uh, but on the flip side, I think that Miami had a chance to finish some of these teams off early and didn't take advantage of those chances either. And I know been watching the Hoosiers all year long. They really thrive when you give them extra chances. So
Absolutely.
If this Miami team, is undisciplined and a drive stalls out because of holding or a couple of false starts, or an unsportsmanlike or a personal foul or anything like that that could happen after the whistle. Like IU is going to make them pay for that.
Yes.
Um, and it might not be the first time, but we've seen Miami continue to give teams chances down the stretch um, in these games, and so I think like having like IU being a team that seeks every opportunity to bury a team like that, I think that bodes well for Indiana in this matchup.
Absolutely. Man, I give Miami a ton of credit. They have far surpassed my expectations, truth be told. And, I thought that the Texas A&M game was very winnable. I did not give them much of a fighting chance with Ohio State. And that's a very good Ohio State team that beat a Texas early in the year, that played in Indiana very tight. So I give them a lot of credit for getting to this point. They also stopped a quarterback who probably, if he started the year as the starter at Ole Miss, would have also been in the Heisman conversation in Trinidad Chambliss, a guy who, is really in this playoffs increased his NFL draft stock big time. So I give Miami a ton of credit. I also want to take this another direction with you, Howie. There's so many storylines here. I mean, how incredible that this starting quarterback matchup are two dudes who won the Florida High School State Championships back to back years. Carson Beck, Florida High School State Football Champion, the very next year. Your boy, Fernando Mendoza, Heisman winner, wins the Florida High School State Championship. Not to mention, was playing high school ball 30 minutes from where this national championship game is going to be played. I mean, the scriptwriters nailed this one, didn't they, Howie?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's been the big story is Fernando going back home to Miami right for this game, and like being from Miami, like having his family from around there, like it's going to be kind of a homecoming for him. Like he should thrive in the stadium. He should be able to do it. And I think he's going to. I mean, I don't like. I worried about first time in like Lucas Oil Stadium. Like how is he gonna respond to like a probably pro Buckeyes crowd because they buy up Big Ten championship tickets in advance because they know they're going to be there. You know, how is he going to do it the first time they go outside on the road anywhere that's cold or anything like that? Because he played at Cal before, like Cal
Right.
and from Miami, like those are warm places that you don't. It doesn't snow. It doesn't.
Yeah,
They're
and
hardly like
ACC environments, like you're saying, like they're
exactly
they're not a conference that has these mega stadiums like the Big Ten, like in Indiana is going through, right?
correct. So how is he going to thrive in that? And he's faced every challenge head on, and now he's back home where he's had some experience and obviously has had success. Both these quarterbacks had, and I think it also just shows. And like shout out to the Sunshine State of Florida. Like shout out to you and your boys down there in Florida. Like you guys have a ton of talent, and it just seems like it's enough to field every team in Florida, every college team in Florida, but then it sends talent out to every other school everywhere else. So a lot of Florida boys coming back home this week or tomorrow to play in that national championship game.
Yeah, and let's talk about it, right? This is the home stadium for Miami. I mean, in what world? Like, there's very few teams out there that even have this chance, right? Like, if the national championship is being played in Las Vegas, I believe next year, like UNLV, that's their home stadium, right? Like, very slim chance UNLV is making
Right.
that run. And even if you have a great program like a Miami, very slim chance that you can make a natty run in the year that it's going to be played at your home stadium. Now, the dynamics there are interesting, right? Because this is where they're used to be playing. So there is an advantage of familiarity, but they're also going to be the road team. And this is not an on campus stadium, right? This is a pro stadium. It's the Dolphin Stadium that the Hurricanes get to use, is the best way I would put it. But that sense of familiarity, that is an advantage for Miami. How do you feel about that as an Indiana fan? Crazy coincidence, or how is this even possible?
Yeah, I think that's no different than an NFL team that happens to make a run, and then the Super Bowl ends up being in their city, right? I equate it to that, and I'm not saying well that's not fair. They should like all that gets planned years and years and years in advance. And I had some experience in college working with like Indiana Sports Corp down here for like Big Ten basketball tournaments, and I worked the first and second round of NCAA tournament, and I was like asking about the process. They bid for these things years in advance and get them years in advance. So for the stars to kind of line up is actually kind of cool for Miami. But IU has a big alumni base and a big alumni base in Florida as well. So I think this could be a. I don't think it's going to be as big of a home field advantage for Miami as you might think it's going to be. I think IU, as one of the wealthier alumni bases as well, is going to do what they have to do to be there, right? Like if you went to Pasadena and you went to Atlanta, like, and you have the means to do it, like, why would you not be in Miami?
Right. That's a
So
great take. I
right, so
completely
I
agree
don't
with
I
you,
don't see
Howie.
it being like 90-10 or anything like that.
Right.
And if it is, like, so what? Like,
Yeah,
I went into Oregon, did what they had to do. Like,
that's
Indy
right.
was probably more of a split, but still, Buckeyes travel really strong there to Indy every year to the Big Ten championship. Like, took care of their business in Iowa. That's one of the toughest places to play
Yeah.
in the country. Like, it's no joke playing at Kinnick. So, um, even if it was a home field advantage, so what? I think that's even better for the process of being locked in and playing your game.
Yes. They've proven it on the road all year. And it's funny you say that, even better to be locked in. Like I was not thinking this way at all. And then I heard McElroy talking and he was like, look, man, this honestly might be worst case for Miami. Like they're home. There's all the distractions. All their boys are gonna be like, "Yo, hook me up with tickets and all this kind of stuff." He's like, there might be even more distractions for them rather than like, "Hey, we're going to New Orleans or we're going to Pasadena to play in this game." So I like your approach there, and Sig will have the boys locked in all day.
Yeah,
Howie, what are you most excited for in this national championship, man?
just there's so much. But I think the most thing I'm just excited to win. I guess is probably the best thing to say. I'm excited to win the national championship, but really, I'm just excited to see like I'm excited to see the IU brand compete against the brand of like Miami,
Yeah,
right? Like the Miami Hurricanes, like Michael Irving is going to be on the sidelines, like they're all going to be like Ray Lewis. The boys are going to
they're
be
gonna be
there,
rolling
right?
deep. Yeah, Ed
They're going
Reed.
to be
Yep.
rolling deep on the sidelines, and like IU has Antoine Randall L is like the football alumni, right? Like, um, so and there's others in there, but they haven't really made like they're not Hall of Fame football players, right? Coming
Sure.
out of IU. So I just to have the IU brand match up against one of the most historic college football brands of all time in the national championship. Um, I'm just excited to see the university in that spot. I'm excited to see not only in that spot, but competing with the likes of Miami. Like we already took out the Goliath of college football in Alabama.
Yeah,
Even though it wasn't Nick Saban, like it's still the script that
100%.
it's still the all the history behind Alabama.
That's
Like
right.
to see IU in that realm with Alabama and to overcome that and dominate the way they did was awesome. And then like Dan Lanning has Oregon playing to this like they Oregon is just big on the map now. College
Yeah.
football started a handful of years ago, and now it's like to see IU conquer that like is huge in the Peach Bowl. Like, look,
And
these are
and Howie, in a playoff where every single rematch went the other way, except for
right.
Tulane Ole Miss. But like we saw a lot of rematches, and like Alabama got the best of Oklahoma, Ole Miss got the best of Georgia, and that was the trend. And Indiana still overcomes and beats Oregon for a second time in the same seat. Like that's massive, man.
Yeah, yeah. And this whole time, it just felt like it feels like these last 2 years has been about changing the perception of the logo,
Yes.
like changing that perception of the Trident IU, like and changing it to okay, they have a football team, and like they are competing and they are going all in football, and they're going to be a part of the college football landscape for the foreseeable future. And
100%.
like, so go ahead and put them into that tier. Um, put them into that tier with the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Miamis, like, because they're this 2 year run is something that Miami would have loved to have, right? Like,
Yes. This 2 year run was unconceivable, Howie. I mean, you know that better than I. You've been an IU fan your whole life. Like, this is, in my lifetime, one of the most unlikely stories in all of sports, not just in college football. Like, and you could say it till we're red in the face. It's just an unbelievable story and so unlikely. And that's what's so magical about it, man. Like, it's just incredible.
right? Yeah, it's I can't even believe it. Like, I keep seeing stuff pop up on like Twitter and stuff of like, this was Rutgers in 2014. Look at the crowd like prior to kickoff, and I'm like, yeah, like I was there like in 2021, like
Yeah.
in the Rutgers game or a Michigan State game, and it's like I was one of thousand,
Yeah.
thousand, 2000 ish, and it was at the end of the fight song, everybody says IU, and it kind of just like sounds like we're whispering IU, and now it's like
Mm,
we're blowing the roof off of Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta with the IU. It's like it's actually incredible
the
how
pride is
it's
back.
yeah, it's actually insane how Signetti's been able to do that in 2 years, and I just hope it continues. I hope the fan base isn't just content with getting the national championship in year two and go, well, that was fun. Like, I want to be there. Like,
Be the
I keep
next
saying to my
dynasty.
buddy, like, oh, we got this alignment. Oh, we got this wide receiver, like in the portal. Like, I'm ready for next year too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pumped for next year too.
Well, before we move on to next year, Howie, I want to close this episode the only way I know how, and just to take a trip down memory lane with the LCFP. Like for those of you who have been with us since day one, like we're so grateful for you guys, and you guys have been along in the journey. And for those of you who are just tuning in, or this might be the first thing you see of the LCFP, we're glad to have you. But Howie and I, 2 years ago, a few days before this, when it was the four-team era, we were previewing our first national championship game on this pod, and it was Washington and Michigan. And the bent that we took on that episode, Howie, was does Washington have a chance? And if Washington can pull it off, here's what they need to do because Michigan was having that type of year that Indiana's having this year. And they were dominating and they were having a special run and they were massive favorites. And now, 2 years later, we're sitting here and it's your Indiana Hoosiers in that position, Howie, where they are the favorites. They are undefeated. They have been going through the whole year. And the question is if Miami can do it, how are they going to pull it off? And they're going to have to play flawless. And so I just want to take a second, Howie, and like, as a college football fan, like, I'm so happy for you that your team, that your program is in this position. And we're stoked for you, bro. And hope you can do it. And I know I also have a lot of friends down here in South Florida who are Miami fans who have grown up and like were either being born the year Miami like had their last natty or like can barely remember it or their parents told them about it or they've just seen like all of those crazy ESPN 30 for 30s and
Right.
like they're really excited too because this is kind of their first national championship opportunity in their lifetime. So for those of you out there who are also Miami fans, I'm just really happy for you guys. Happy for all the Hoosiers, happy for all the Canes, and tomorrow night should be a good one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think to answer your question, I think if you're Miami and I'm going to scout kind of, how I would try to attack IU, um, they're so balanced, so you have to be balanced, right?
Right.
You can't try to tip the table one way or the other. You're going to have to kind of grind it out against IU and make it a lower scoring game. You're gonna have to own time of possession. You can't give them too many possessions. You got to keep that offense off the field as long as possible and keep that defense on the field as long as possible. Um, and so I think if I'm Miami, I'm leaning on the run game, which we saw has been so good, right? IU's front seven is very good, but like Miami's O line and Miami's run game has been
They've been leaning
incredible.
on people. Yeah.
They have been leaning on people. So I think if that's the case, you lean on that run game and you really put like like they put Ohio State in some really tough positions, like with the run game. I mean, they were just pounding it down their throat in that game. And so I think if you can do the same thing or commit to doing the same thing against Indiana, you could really find success. I think where Oregon, um, I mean, think about the first play of the game, the pick six.
Yeah.
Like
Massive
you
start.
establish a run, that doesn't happen, and you don't lose momentum immediately. 11
Yeah.
seconds into the game or whatever it was, 20 seconds in the game. Like
It's a great call.
so, if I'm Miami, I'm playing low and slow, and I am
Yeah.
just milking the clock. And then defensively, when I get my boys out there, I'm pinning my ears back, and I'm just gonna be violent and ruthless on defense. And if I get a cheap shot in on Mendoza, I'm gonna take it and
Jeez.
take 15 yards just off the first bat. Like, and this is like it feels like that's the Miami like edge, right? Like that, like with all the boys on the sideline, like that's the kind of stuff that they did growing up, like through the Miami system, and how like what made them successful in their NFL careers was just being nasty, like just take your head off people. And I think if you're violent with Indiana, like that's like you do that for 3 downs, get them off the field,
Yeah.
and get your running game back going. Like I think that for Miami would be the best recipe for success. I don't think you're gonna throw it all over the yard against
Right.
Indiana. So I think you're gonna have to really limit the possessions.
Absolutely. And like Indiana has seen all year, but like especially these last three games, like Malachi Tony is their bread and butter. So like they're gonna try to do everything they can to take him away, and that's who Carson Beck relies on. I really, really firmly believe like if Miami is to win this game, it has to be Ruben Bain and that defensive line. Like you're going up against an O line that's so good that for the only time in my lifetime that I can remember watching a game, the O line, Indiana's O line won MVP of a game, a playoff game. Like that is big time. And so Miami D line and Ruben Bain, especially, like they're gonna have to have the game of their lives to maybe force Indiana to have to throw the ball. But the problem is that passing game is elite, and you're gonna have to get to Mendoza or at least get into his head, like you said, speed up his clock or something or mess up the timing. But it's just like I've watched Indiana play so much football now and play so well that like there's no weakness. So I can't give a recipe to Miami of like, oh, if you take away the run, then you're what like no, you're gonna have to take away the run and you're gonna have to like mess with Mendoza and get some pressures on him and get him on the ground. And
Yeah.
so anyway, man, I think it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be exciting. And to all of you listeners out there and those of you watching on YouTube, man, enjoy it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Howie, pumped for you, bro. Big
Let's
one.
go Hoosiers.
Well, folks, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the LCFP. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Duck Buck Co. You heard from Howie earlier. You can use code LCFP for 15% off. And it's not just these hats, they got hoodies, shirts, sweatpants, shorts, you name it. So, Duck Buck, we appreciate you guys. And to everyone out there, happy National Championship Monday. Enjoy it. Howie, good luck to your Hoosiers.
Appreciate you.